what I look like? I look like one of those fire department victims.
You do.
Of like, did we get my dog out?
You've recently become homeless.
Yeah. Chris!
Heath.
Your girlfriend's so hot.
Excuse me?
It's like, confusingly so.
I don't know how to take this. I'm confused for one. So this is because you got to meet her.
Yeah.
You're bringing this up.
Yeah. And that restaurant was amazing.
I really like it.
Yeah.
It was a ramen place I enjoy downtown.
Mm-hmm.
They really catered to your taste in food. There were eggs. There were burgers.
Yeah, Bailey texted me a few days ago saying, "Oh, there's a really cool ramen restaurant in the area we should go to when I visit." And I'm like, "Bitch, we're going back to Furoshiki." Did you see what I ordered? It was like every ingredient I want. And I'm not an avid listeners of the show should know that I'm not a noodles guy, but what I had, the plate lunch, it was to die for.
You were adamant they removed the spice bomb, though.
Oh, yeah. And going forward, the spice will continue to be absent. But just amazing food, amazing girlfriend on your part. Congratulations.
Why did you sound so surprised that she was attractive?
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Mobius Tubes.
Yeah, this is episode 53.
Oh, this is Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, October 31st, 2020. Speaking of Halloween, very scary. My sleep schedule. So I stayed up last night because I've been working overnights. So I slept during the day. And I got invited to a little shindig around 11 p.m. And so after the shindig, I'm like, I'm very hungry. So I go out to McDonald's because that's all that's open. When's the last time you went to McDonald's?
Ooh,
or not even went to, just partook.
Sure. I've eaten at Wendy's twice this year, but the last time I went to McDonald's, it's been a couple years at least.
Yeah, multiple years. So I didn't know what to order necessarily, but my go-to going forward, forget the chicken nuggets. They're overrated. I'm getting 2 double cheeseburgers. Only cheese, no pickles, onions, ketchup.
Does that only apply to McDonald's burgers, or do you not like pickles, ketchup on your regular, just any burger?
That is correct.
What's wrong with you?
I mean, I'll do lettuce and tomato.
Okay. You're not a ketchup on a burger type of person?
I'm not a ketchup on anything.
Oh, I'm a ketchup fiend.
Oh, ugh.
To some people's shock and horror, the amount of ketchup I consume.
Right, so would you like any eggs with your ketchup?
Oh, I don't like mixing eggs and ketchup.
Oh, this is you are contrarian across the board.
All right, maybe some hypocrisy here, but I feel like the ketchup overpowers the subtlety of the egg flavor. At that point, you're just tasting the ketchup and nothing else.
Okay, you like to savor your eggs. Well, anyway, I opened the show with, this is the best meal I've ever had at this Asian fusion restaurant.
Yes.
So at McDonald's, I like this. So yeah, I got back from the McDonald's and I'm like, what game can I play that would only require one hand? Because the other hand is going to have fistful of fries. And I knew that Carrion, because that's one of the games I brought to the show today, because very spooky Halloween. Yeah, that's what I spent one of my Epic Game Store coupons on. Carrion.
Gotcha.
And I was like, that game requires my full attention because you're getting shot at by guards and lab scientists and stuff.
Yes.
So Carrion was out. We'll get into that later.
Okay.
To end this anecdote, I took up Pikuniku.
Pikuniku?
Pikuniku? Is that how you pronounce it?
This could be a game I just am not aware of.
It's a puzzle platformer from last year.
Okay.
Pink guy. Look it up.
All right.
I would turn this toward you. I could probably. Look it up. Pikuniku is a puzzle adventure game by French-British indie collective Sector Dub, published by Devolver. Oh, both this and Carrion were published by Devolver.
It's a double feature.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Pikuniku game flew under my radar. I've never seen it before.
What are you talking about? You love puzzle platformers.
I dabble with them.
You adore puzzle. Friggin' Night in the Woods and Two Brothers.
Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons.
What did I call it?
Two Brothers.
Yeah, same thing. So that was my evening, and I'll get into those types of games. But back to you, Chris. What's been happening since I last saw you?
Here's a fun trivia fact for our listeners.
I love trivia.
Not only is today October 31st Halloween, it is a full moon tonight, which the last time Halloween had a full moon was in the 1940s.
Oh.
So for many of us, this will be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But
probably, yeah.
Probably.
As if 2020 needed anything more to be as cursed as it is.
Right. But much like the phases of the moon, my interests in my various hobbies, be it video games and board games, they
change nightly.
They wax and wane.
Okay.
I don't know if this is just a peculiar thing that happens to me or if it's generally known that as my interest in video games kind of wanes, I get more into a board game phase. Currently, I'm in a board game phase, so my video gaming has been somewhat limited over the past couple weeks, but I do have 2 short updates. Do you want me to give you those?
Well, I mean, the way you're teeing this up, it feels like a mid-episode Cardboard Corner.
No, this is Mobius Tubes. I'm here to talk about video games, of course.
I don't know what you're talking about with this corner.
Right. Those words mean nothing to me. That was just my justification for my shorter updates this episode.
Gotcha.
Those updates are, we'll breeze through Hades because I'm still playing Hades.
I was considering buying it with my coupon.
If any more coupons come your way, Heath, I would endorse that decision.
It was still a hefty price.
Gotcha. Because I'm still loving this game. My playing of it has tapered off the past couple weeks. I'm no longer obsessed. I'm still just dipping in, though.
Yeah.
I'm watching it climb my Steam Games playtime rankings.
Yeah, ranking.
It is about to overtake Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay.
So a lot of time. And, I just want to make it clear. So this is the Supergiant roguelite game that is based in Greek mythology. You are trying to escape the underworld on each attempt. You're playing as a cool character named Zagreus, the son of Hades. It has all the usual Supergiant charm, the amazing soundtrack, the great voice work. But prior to the game launching, this was the least excited I've been for an upcoming Supergiant game. I was still excited, mind you.
What, because they drip fed you the development?
Just because when I heard Supergiant, of all developers, was going to be taking a shot at making a roguelite, I was like, this is not going to cater to their strengths whatsoever. I come to Supergiant games for that short, sweet, narrative experience that will stick in my memories for a long time. I don't want this randomly generated, recycled content roguelite from them.
Yeah, I get you.
Supergiant games are the epitome of handcrafted.
Yeah. It would be like if the makers of Limbo and Inside made a battle royale.
Yes, kind of like that comparison.
So you were skeptical.
I was skeptical. But then, now that I've been playing the game for the past month, it is my favorite Supergiant game. It has usurped Transistor.
Just because of its versatility?
I just like playing this game, man. It just goes to show sometimes you don't know what you want until it's handed to you. They still pack in all the Supergiant charm. The storytelling is there. They've kind of rewritten the rules on telling a story through a roguelite.
They broke new ground.
They broke new ground.
You echoed me, but you know where that's from, right?
It's from
Red Letter
yes,
Media.
It's that YouTube channel
Thank
you
God.
like.
Okay, just checking. Just had a vibe check it there.
Sure. Yeah, that's Hades.
Okay.
While I'm not playing it with the same fervor I used to, I don't see myself fully abandoning it ever.
Right.
And
not until you've exhausted all the dialogue, and even then.
Right. And I'm still being drip-fed new story developments and
Have
stuff.
you still not picked a romantic?
I've picked a romance partner now.
All right.
And to my surprise, it wasn't one of the ones I said I was gunning for last time.
Oh.
I'll leave it at that.
I'm trying to pick the least eligible bachelor. Like who's just like the Danny DeVito of the Greek pantheon.
Boldy. Boldy is the boulder Sisyphus
Just
rolls
kinda-
up a hill.
Oh my God, they name him Boldy?
Yeah, he has his own character portrait when you talk to him.
Yay, and make sure it's as verbose as the other portraits.
Yeah, it's as detailed,
Yeah.
although his only dialogue are ellipses because he
Okay.
doesn't speak.
Fair
Because
enough.
he's a rock.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just going to keep chipping away at this game because it has the longest legs I've ever seen. This is my favorite roguelite. It's one of my favorite games. And that's all I've got to say about Hades. I've talked about it Too much, arguably.
All right, time for some new games.
Yes, I have
on the
one new game, and it is Halloween appropriate. I've been playing one that is not maybe the most well-known. It's called Dusk.
I know this, yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
So this is...
First person.
First person. It is a spiritual successor, hearkening back to the first-person shooters of the early to mid-90s.
Doom.
If this game had released back then, instead of in 2018, people would call it a Doom clone, because that's exactly what it's going for. It's a first-person shooter in the same vein as Quake, Wolfenstein, Doom. That extends to its look and its feel.
And its music.
Yeah. How are you familiar with this game?
Freaking Pat Staresat played it, and he chatted with the devs on it even.
Okay, sweet. That's cool, because I didn't see this game get a ton of coverage.
You are sliding around, aren't you?
Yes. So, as you might expect, to like copy the feeling of those early first-person shooter games, your movement speed is cranked way up. There's no like default walk. You're just breezing across environments. You
need to be that fast to dodge the projectiles.
Right. So it doesn't have hit scan weapons like you would expect to see in a Call of Duty game. They have like fireballs that
Would you call that hit scan?
Hit scan. So
that sounds like a printer setting. Sorry. What?
Sorry.
I've never heard that before.
A hit scan weapon is, say, like a modern military shooter.
Yeah, with the Modern Warfare 2X
Yeah, they don't actually render the bullets in air. It is just like, do they have line of sight on you? If so, when they pull the trigger, you take damage.
Oh, so that's hit scan.
Right.
But like enter the gungeon is
the
projectilian?
Yeah. Whatever the opposite of hit scan is.
Thank you.
There are actual projectiles mid-air that you can dodge because you move so fast.
Yeah.
This is the same way as it is in like Doom and the Doom reboots.
Yeah, is Ultra Kill also in these reboots? Have you been looking at that?
What is Ultra Kill?
Oh, I thought that was also a one of these gun shooties.
It might be. I just might not know it.
All right, let's talk about Dusk though.
Okay, Dusk. I did not play Doom in the 90s because I wasn't born yet, but I'm enjoying it without the rose-tinted glasses. I don't have any nostalgia to draw upon. I'm just approaching this as a new game, and I'm having a surprisingly good time. You play as unnamed, unknown protagonist, and you awaken in this like basement of a spooky, rundown, dilapidated house, and immediately 3 guys with chainsaws are rushing at you. And this game definitely is in a horror setting. I would hesitate to call it a full-blown horror game.
I've seen the final boss, yeah.
Okay.
That's consistent.
Initially, I was kind of scared, though, just because enemies could walk so fast towards you. I wasn't used to that. I'm used to, in most shooters, enemies, they hunker down behind cover, they run around a little bit, maybe flank you. These guys just gun for you.
Yeah, Hotline Miamian.
Right, and since you move so fast, it's only fair that they move equally fast. So that caught me off guard. Enemies you're fighting, there's like cultists, there are demon goats, there are
hunter type
reanimated scarecrows. It has a very spooky setting to it. You're navigating cornfields at night and bunker areas.
Really? I thought there was bunker area. I was gonna say I saw one particular like power plant level that had great verticality.
Yeah, there is some cool verticality to this game.
The likes of which wouldn't have been possible back in 90s Doom.
Likely not. No, that would be pushing the boundaries too far.
Yeah.
Although visually, this game does look like it could be at home in the 90s. It has very low poly 3D rendered enemies.
Retro even.
Yeah. Some of the environment wall textures look totally flat.
Mm-hmm.
I'd hesitate to call it ugly, though. I think it works. I'm kind of endeared to its art style. Well, I wouldn't say it looks modern. I don't think it looks bad.
No. Alexis would say it looks bad.
Possibly. It is a little too brown for my taste. I wish there was more color. I always like resource management, and a component to this game is
ammunition.
Yeah, making sure you don't run out of ammo, because that's easily done if you're not paying attention. It has all the trappings of that era, so there's no health regen. You have to scavenge the environment for health packs. There's no reloading. You never reload. It's
just as long as you have ammo.
You just keep firing away. There's nothing like dashing or anything. It's just all you dodge and weave and you shoot, and that's kind of the extent of it. The only kind of tactical consideration you make is you pick which weapon you want to shoot at which enemy, because enemies are fairly diverse, and that's fun.
It's all the game really has is a diversity of enemies.
Yes, that's kind of all it has. You're right. I'd hesitate to even say it has puzzles, even though once in a while the game will grind to a halt as you approach a locked door with 4 keys on a keypad next to it, and you just brute force the right combination to open the door. I don't know why they bothered to put that in there. It takes all of 20 seconds, but you feel those 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Because the rest of the game is just so snappy. And there's no like cleverness to these puzzles. It's just kind of like
trial and error.
Yes, exactly. Maybe that's something that the old Doom games did, and they're just trying to like copy that. I'm not sure. But I'm liking it. It's a short game. I think I'm about at the halfway mark after 3 hours of playing it. I'm going to probably see it through. It's starting to wear on me a little bit just because it's a little too simple, which I guess is props to it for its authenticity of like harkening back to simpler first-person shooter games. But there's just not that much I'm juggling mentally in my head after playing it for a few hours, because like I never have to think about reloading. I never have to think about hiding to regen my health. It's just basic movement.
You can only strafe so many ways.
Exactly. If there was just some other element on top of it, some further consideration, I think it would probably have benefited from it.
Like Ultra Kill. Okay, so now I'm starting to remember a little bit better.
Okay.
Ultra Kill has rhythm-based shooting.
Wait a minute.
Crypt of the Necrodancerian.
Is this a brand new game you're talking about?
Yeah. Super. Just look at it.
I don't think it's called Ultra Kill.
What's this? Oh, is that like a power-up in whatever game I'm thinking of?
It might be called like bullets per minute.
Oh, you're right.
Okay.
What? Oh, sorry. Am I? Oh my God. Ultra Kill is a game. It's an early access, fast-paced, ultra retro FPS reminiscent of Doom.
And it's actually called Ultra Kill.
Yes. But what I'm thinking, I should say bullets per minute. You have to shoot the gun at the rhythm of the beat.
Gotcha.
To play most optimally. That also released last month.
Yes.
All right, so that's the feature. That's an example of a feature that would make it worth your while.
Sure, just a little more mental calculations to juggle. That game looks sweet. I'm excited to play that. But yeah, so Doom, it's been cool. Doom, I called it Doom.
Dusk.
Dusk has been fun.
Yeah. But Dusk is not a must.
Dusk is not a must. At least initially, I was like surprised by how much I liked it. And it does occasionally throw you into fun settings, like you're in a dark, abandoned mine. So your vision cone is super narrow. So that's spooky.
Okay, like your field of view?
Field of view. You're right.
What is there, vignetting?
You've got to use your flashlight, and
okay.
You can barely see what's around you. And since you move so fast, in those claustrophobic corridors, I don't feel like the game is super fun to play when enemies are rushing at you super quickly.
So you kind of just have to pinball, and then if you catch a glimpse of a sprite, pull the trigger.
Pull the trigger.
Yeah.
It works better in the big open environments, which you're usually playing in, to be fair. But I think, especially if you already know or have nostalgia for these types of games, I definitely recommend it to you. But otherwise, if it's not your cup of tea, I wouldn't blame you for it.
We look forward to the sequel to Dusk, Dawn, which will then be an homage to the new Doom games and the new Wolfenstein.
Oh, that would be fun.
They don't have the engine for it.
They don't have the engine for it. Oh, yeah, and you mentioned the music. The music slaps in this game. It's usually not very noticeable, but whenever a big encounter happens, it really ratchets up, and I'm usually impressed.
Dusk slaps.
Yeah.
That sounds like a Pokemon. Dusk
it kind of does. All right, that's all I've been playing.
All right.
I'm done.
All right. More new games to talk about.
Yes.
Can I grab my phone? I had all
my
notes on it.
I can take this opportunity to stretch. What are you eating?
A Snickers. Which is not a good choice.
You look pained. What was wrong with that Snickers?
I just had to like choke it down.
Don't do it for my sake. Chew, Heath.
No, I regret so many things. Going on top of the Doom adjacent conversation that we just had, I got introduced to Tim Rogers a few days ago.
Okay.
Tim Rogers is very spookily the person who I pretend to be.
What?
I feel like you ever just walk through life thinking that you're your own person and then come across a person who you've clearly, unwittingly, just been a proto version of?
With 7 billion people on the planet, that's to be expected. It'll come up eventually.
Eventually, yeah. Well, it happened for me in October of 2020. Tim Rogers is an American video games journalist and game dev. He has a company called Action Button. He is a games journalist on the pulse of Brian David Gilbert and all the fun ones that we like.
He worked at Kotaku up until this year, like Brian David Gilbert.
No, Brian David Gilbert's only worked at Polygon.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
my bad.
It's okay. But oh my God, is Tim Rogers just... The people who have influenced me have clearly been influenced by Tim Rogers. And the way he was pitched to me over at Pat Stairs app, he said that Tim Rogers is a guy who has always been crazy. He's like the kid that was bullied in school, but has grown up since and adopted just like a deep voice, like a very nice voice actor-y voice, but still looks the way he does.
Uh-huh.
And all of his... Okay, so what kind of work does he do? He is heavily mentioned in the Wikipedia article that describes new games journalism.
Okay.
Which sort of gets away from old games journalism. I don't know what you would... who is the mascot of old games journalism? Probably the guy in Bandersnatch who's on the TV that reviews your games and is all like, this one, the graphics, that's old games journalism.
Okay.
New games journalism is probably this very anecdotal, personal, performative even.
Opinion.
Opinion of games. So I've been watching Tim Rogers' Doom review, which is 3 hours long.
Is this the original Doom?
Oh my God. It's funny that you ask that. Tim Rogers, as I've prefaced, is a crazy man.
Uh-huh.
So there are multiple versions of Doom that have come out on many platforms.
Yeah, many platforms.
Although he may not have initially set out to do so, he went ahead and played every version of Doom that has ever been released.
So he definitely touched on Doom 64 then.
Yes.
Okay.
And his review is structured in a way that it's so anecdotal. I love it so much. And I urge anyone who kind of likes me to look up Tim Rogers.
Okay.
And maybe start with the Doom review because it's so cheery. And I love hearing him talk about how his dad was in the Navy, and so he had a PC, but it didn't have sound, so he didn't experience Doom with sound. So he played like the first level on like a demo package, but never went back to it until these kids in school were like, "Have you played Doom?" And it's like I didn't. And his voice is so lulling because he's a total nerd, but doesn't sound like it as much as we do. I'm halfway through the first video I came across. He also... Another Tim Rogers invention was Time to Crate, which was a review scale that lists the duration it takes for you to come across a generic crate in a game. And it's sort of like an indicator of how long it takes for the game developer to give up and be like, just throw some assets in there.
That's a funny metric for deciding that.
Yeah.
When you told me ahead of the podcast that you wanted to talk about, his name is Tim Rogers, right?
Oh, yeah.
I Googled him, saw what he looked like, and it's like, oh, yeah, I've watched a couple of this guy's videos, but I've never done a deep dive. So maybe there's a well there I should look into.
From what I've seen, it's so innocuous and fun. The same way a John Boyce video is innocuous and fun. I can't speak highly enough about Tim Rogers. Something that I can't speak as highly as I did last episode was the Jackbox Party Pack situation.
Oh, do tell.
Remember how I said like pass on Party Pack 6 because I was hypercritical of Push the Button?
Right.
After you tried to compare it to Among Us?
After I tried to, yes.
Yeah. And I was like, make sure you buy Party Pack 7. I'm not so sure now.
Uh-oh. Now you've had hands-on experience with it.
Both I and Bailey have had hands-on experience with it.
Okay.
Damn. So Quiplash 2.
Which is an old Party Pack game.
Yeah. The best Party Pack game. What is the art style of Quiplash 2? It's like flat.
Yeah.
And there's swirls. It's very clean.
It's mostly functional.
Yeah, functional. And then things will like smash into each other.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some like cartoon sound effects.
And some little cartoon characters.
Quiplash 3 went for like Claymation Carnival.
That's a big departure.
Yeah, and it is for someone, me trying to introduce it to my work friends, that became an unnecessarily high barrier to be like, come on, guys, it's fun.
And then it has this niche
when there's
art
like
style.
vaudeville carny music playing that is grating.
Oh.
And if you're not immediately sold on the game, it is doing your indoctrination efforts no favors. But that's just Quiplash 3.
How were the question prompts in Quiplash 3?
Suspect.
Suspect?
Some of them were tricky.
Okay.
On my first game of it, we didn't even get to the third round.
You abandoned?
The crew that I was trying to play with, my work friends, they're not game savvy. Someone was at the door.
Okay.
It was immediately thrown to the backseat. But Bailey got to the third round, and she told me that its gimmick is like a 3-part joke where you have to fill in 3 blanks.
Okay, I've heard a little bit about this.
Yeah. She said that's okay.
Okay, because the third round of Quiplash always differs from the first 2. Some of them can be gimmicky. The one hot take I've heard about Quiplash 3 is that it had the best third round yet.
Oh, okay.
But you think it's just okay.
Or
Bailey thinks
this
it's just okay.
This is me.
We're both promoting our
Secondhand
secondhand opinions of Quiplash 3's third round.
Don't you wish the people we talk about having opinions had their podcast? We should just record them.
Yeah.
The other games in Party Pack 7, Bailey seems to like. Blather Round, she said, was good.
Okay.
But then there was one of these other games. One of them was technologically challenging.
Okay.
For
the uninitiated.
For those in her play session.
Gotcha.
That were like, skip me, Oh, yeah. It's whatever the game was where it's a guessing game. So you answer one of their prompts. And then the game itself is your teammates trying to guess, and you basically, it's like kind of like Heads Up.
Oh, Heads Up 7-Up?
No, what am I thinking of? Headbands, where you have a prompt on your forehead, and you're constantly like guessing, and then somebody's providing like feedback.
Right.
That one was a success, according to her.
I could see that.
But I definitely want to walk back my lambasting of Party Pack 6. Because I was so tempted by, Quiplash 3 has to be the best. And I'm already bearish on that.
Yeah, that praise was premature.
Yeah, Party Pack 6 is nothing to sleep on. It's got Trivia Murder Party 2, Push the Button, and Patently Stupid. It's great.
Sweet.
So I amended that.
What else have you been playing?
Okay, so Carrion.
Yeah, so pitch us on
that.
Carrion, which was kind of a quick, hot game this summer. When it first came out. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think it launched initially like on Game Pass, so people were immediately trying it out.
Neat. Yeah. It's a quaint game.
Okay.
You play as the Beast.
The Beast.
You break out of a test tube and you just start killing people. It's very similar to Ape Out.
You're kind of an amorphous blob of tentacles, right?
Yes, you have one prehensile tentacle that allows you to flip switches and...
What does prehensile mean?
Like tactile? Like opposable? Capable of grasping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, good vocab word.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's one of the upgrades.
Available. Oh, it like
you're
says...
constantly like coming across new vials of DNA and transmogrifying yourself into a more adept blob.
Okay.
I recently got the mind control gimmick and the invisibility gimmick.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do you get any choice over the upgrade path, or is there like a very linear order?
It's whatever you come across in the Metroidvania.
Okay.
So there's a labyrinth of rooms that range from the research lab to the bunker to the military junkyard, and you are just killing things, and it's a puzzle type game where you have to figure out when you need to smash through this barrier or web sling through this impassable gate, and it's fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm halfway through even.
Okay.
I wish the music was better, and I wish the voice acting was better.
It has voice acting?
Well, it's just a myriad of screams. But I wish there were some, like, it's over there, it's in the vents, just like a lot more enthusiasm into the sound design.
Surely your monster protagonist doesn't speak.
He's yum, yum, yum. Whenever he eats people. No, the monster doesn't make any vocal. Oh, that'd be cool, though, if it could imitate civilians.
Call people over.
And be like,
catch them off guard.
Let me in. Oh, he's here, Yeah, and they open the door unwittingly.
Like a parrot.
Yeah. Other notes. Oh, the art style. So it's pixel.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it obvious which direction the civilians are facing. So you got to be wary of because some of them are gun wielding. This game it's like Sonic, where you kind of got to go fast and just hope for the best. There are some guards that have a force field in front of them. So if you try to just reach out and grab them with a tentacle and start eating them, you'll get zapped, and then you're defenseless.
Gotcha.
So you kind of got to like snake around them under the floorboards or what have you to get behind them. But it's kind of hard to see which way they're facing, and they turn on a dime. So I kind of wish, not that there was like a vision cone or like a laser sight on every gun to show you which direction they're facing, but maybe just kind of a Metal Gear exclamation point if they see you.
Yeah.
Because the size of your monster, the more health you have, the bigger you are.
Oh, kind of like a handicap, right? Because you're a bigger target?
Yes, and I will definitely have a fleshy mass that's like peeking around the corner of whatever barrier I'm hiding behind.
Yeah.
And you move to wherever your cursor is. So I kind of wish I could like control my squishy bits a little better.
Gotcha.
And that there was some notification whenever a guard spots me, other than the music just ramping up and bullets coming soon after.
You want your whole body to be opposable, not just the one long tentacle.
That would be nice, but we can't. There's only so much you can do with all your biomass.
Yeah.
The progression feels good. Like I said, the getting new DNA and stuff. I should say I criticize the sound design, but the thwipping is on point.
What is the thwipping?
Just like because your tentacles are constantly reaching out. That's how you navigate. Your maneuverability is just all these like fleshy stringies reaching out and just thwipping. Oh, cool thing that I mentioned, the parasitism upgrade. You possess this body who is able to flip gates, shoot other civilians, and then when you're done with the dummy, I thought he would just die and you would go back to controlling your Carrion beast.
Right.
But actually, the person you possess bursts and you emerge as the beast past whatever obstacle that was blocking your path. So I thought that was super cool.
So he kind of like becomes a host that you emerge out of.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting that. And then you can carry on, where you previously couldn't have gotten to.
I like that too.
It was unexpected. I wouldn't recommend Carrion unless it's like a Game Pass thing that you are already privy to.
Yeah.
I just thought it'd be fun to pick up because I've been eyeing it since whatever, and I had a coupon to burn.
Yeah.
So it's fun. I will probably finish it.
Yeah, I don't think it's overly long.
Mm-hmm.
Probably doesn't overstay its welcome.
Yeah.
So if our listeners see it on sale, maybe consider it.
Yeah. But as far as games involving amorphous growing blobs,
yeah,
I rank it third.
Behind which other two?
Oh, Katamari and Inside.
Okay, gotcha. Those are some solid picks.
All right. On to Pikuniku.
All right. I don't know very much or anything at all about this game.
Pikuniku starts so strong.
What's the pitch?
It starts with an ad.
Oh?
With a character named Mr. Sunshine, who's here to give you free money. All you have to do is let his robots come to your town and take junk. And he's constantly, like, it's an infomercial to start the game. And he's saying he's going to give you free money. And remember, you are perfect. And it's so cheery. I would say it's Undertale vibes with the writing. It's very funny.
Okay.
And very just things are not as they seem, but everybody's upbeat about it. You play as this the red guy Piku, who emerges out of a cave, and everybody immediately thinks that you are the Beast from Legend.
Oh.
Because you don't look like they do.
Gotcha.
And it's just cute quests. It's like Untitled Goose Game vibes. And I can't say enough good things about it.
What is the core gameplay like?
You're just puzzle platforming.
Okay.
You know, you get money. You know, there'll be coins above the clouds, and you got to jump on the clouds, and then you'll scare off these birds. And then the mama bird will come and be like, why did you scare my birds out of their nest? Go find them. And then she rewards you with an apple. And you need that apple to get into the secret temple under the well. And it just goes. Okay. I'm like halfway through.
Okay.
I've only beaten 2 boss battles.
It has boss battles.
Oh, yeah.
What do those look like? Are they also puzzle-style battles?
No, they are outrun this charging robot and knock these projectiles into its path.
Okay.
It's highly simple and minimal, but I would recommend it.
All right.
If you like puzzle platforming and cute writing.
It sounds pretty whimsical.
Yeah.
Fun. Cool.
Yeah. And I thought it was Japanese, but it's from a French-British dev team.
Okay. Basically the same thing.
Yeah. That's all I've played.
All right. Well, we played a lot of new games, didn't we?
I guess so, yeah.
Great.
Oh, my God.
What?
Clue is ass. So, before I forget, Clue is a board game that was adapted into a 1985 film starring Tim Curry and anybody else. It is developed a cult following, wouldn't you say, Chris? You hadn't seen it, but you've definitely heard about it.
I have coworkers who are fans of this film.
Drop those coworkers.
Oh, dear.
Get them fired because this movie is awful. There is no redeeming quality about the Clue film.
You sought this movie out.
There's one redeeming quality.
You sought this movie out after I had given it some light praise, right?
You put it on my radar where it was never previously.
Oh, no.
The Clue movie may as well have not existed. And so, when Bailey and I are looking for a film to partake in, and it's Halloween month, we put on Clue.
Yeah.
And we are immediately greeted by horrible misogyny. Look at this maid with the big boobies, and also homophobia.
Oh.
Because because everybody's gathered to this dinner party. And it's like, I bet you're wondering why I've brought you all here. You're all being blackmailed. Even you, like the military officer who has shady business, and the wife of the politician who took bribes, and the psychologist who had an affair with a patient, and the basically pimp lady who is grooming young girls.
All awful people.
And the man who is gay.
That's his crime?
That's his crime.
Jeez.
Yeah. And at the end of the film, Okay. So the end. Okay, skipped right to the end because
Okay.
the whole movie is awful. It's got terrible. What am I trying to say? Yeah. Objectifying of women and just dad jokes. Just a lot horrible dad jokes. One in particular was sort of like a double negative joke where a character is like, well, did you see him? And it's like, no, you saw them, or no, he wasn't there. No, yeah, like a very who's on first style dialogue.
Okay.
Which Bailey and I are looking at each other and we're like, this was good? Why does this have a following? So skip to the end. There are 3 endings. According to the Wikipedia page, the theatrical release came with one of those endings. And you, depending on which screening you went to, varied on what you saw.
Okay.
And there was also like a 4th unreleased ending
Oh.
that we didn't see.
Director's cut.
We watched all 3, and they're all pretty much the same. The very last ending, which was technically like the canon ending, ends with the butler did it. And the butler is Tim Curry, and Tim Curry pulls his weight in this film.
Okay.
He is a eccentric, bug-eyed character who at one point has like a 15-minute sequence where he's reenacting the first hour of the film, and it's very Scooby-Doo. He's running into one room and the whole group is following, and then he runs in the other and the whole group follows, like it's just bouncing off the walls. He's got some chops, so hats off to him. But the last ending we watched, the butler did it, him. He goes to like run away and he gets shot by the gay man, who turns out to be an FBI agent. And then the cops come in, and then it's like, well done, Officer Smick and Smack, who's played by Christopher McKeon, who you know from Flight of the Conchords and Better Call Saul.
Okay.
Yeah. And Christopher McKeon goes like, thanks, police chief. Now I'm off to go sleep with my wife. And it's like, it plays him out. And the movie is like, haha, isn't it great how he's not gay? Like, that's the joke. Like, phew, thank goodness, kind of.
What a weird take.
And that's the last line of the film.
That's what they end on.
Clue is ass.
It sounds like ass.
If you are looking for a murder mystery movie, watch Knives Out twice before you watch this.
Maybe a 3rd time.
Yeah, Knives Out is... Have you watched Knives Out yet?
No, but I want to.
Okay, and we also were thinking about watching Hereditary, but we watched Clue instead. Wait, no. The timeline of events is messed up.
I brought Hereditary on your radar after Clue.
Okay, you did. And we were working on that.
All right. Well, thanks for steering all of our listeners clear of the abomination that is the Clue film.
It's a nuclear film. Stay away.
Ouch. So
like it had like Dead Body Weekend at Bernie's kissy, and you're supposed to be laughing. Okay, so that like a cop walks into the mansion. This is the last thing. And he's like, "What's going on here?" And then the peanut gallery all has like different responses. And so the cop is like, I'll take a look around. Mind if I take a look around? And everyone's like, no, not at all. Meanwhile, there's dead bodies in this room, and that room, and that room. And so the cop walks in, like, bigger. They're busted, but they're doing like, so the party guests, who are now all in cahoots because a murder has occurred. The way they discourage the cop from investigating any harder is by pretending to do like a sultry like kissing the dead bodies
with the corpses.
And so the cop is like, there's nothing wrong here, just some young people in love. And then he turns around, and then it's like, wow, because you're watching the actors like they're visibly distraught because they have to kiss the dead body, kind of pretendy, like just puppeting the body.
Yeah.
And then the movie is like, isn't this funny? And Bailey and I go, no.
All right, you've convinced me.
Move on before I remember another bad element of this film.
Sure, we can both move on as we take a break, and when we return, we'll go over a surprising amount of news, I think. Yeah. See you then. And we're back with news.
All right.
I don't know about you, Heath. I've got maybe not a ton of heavy hitters here, but I've got a wide selection of news stories we could cover. Most of them err on the negative side, though, which is kind of a bummer. I've got a real downer of a news week.
Well, that plays well for us.
Yeah, because we can...
no, because algorithmically, negative stories
headlines
play way but more popular than positive ones.
I don't want to contribute to the 24-hour news cycle.
You ever watch Pro Jared, right?
Okay.
Pro Jared is a long-standing game guy, and he'll do a top 10 best and a top 10 worst video per year. And the top 10 worst views astronomically better than the top 10 best.
Really?
Yeah. Look, year after year,
whenever
it does double the viewership of the best video.
Whenever top 10 lists come out at the end of the year for games, I skip all the bad ones and watch the good ones.
No, you are alone in that.
Because I would assume the goal of a top 10 list is to, maybe something worth playing slipped me by. I want to figure out what it is. You won't find any of those on the bad lists.
No, but you want to seek out the bad lists because you want to know what's bad.
You want to watch the dumpster fire.
Yeah, it's more tantalizing.
All right. So
clearly,
people are weird.
The numbers show, yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about Twitch and video game streaming and how a lot of videos were just recently deleted without any warning. Have you been aware of this scandal, Heath?
Yes.
Okay. So Twitch, the world's biggest video game live streaming platform. Oh, you think it's not the largest?
It's the most popular.
Most synonymous with the term video game streaming?
Yes.
Yeah. They have recently been issuing a lot of DMCA takedowns for videos on Twitch with some kind of licensed content on it that is obviously in violation of their policy. So the DMCA is Digital Millennia Copyright Act. Yes.
It's a really weird acronym.
It is. It's a federal law.
Millennium?
Millennium.
Yeah.
So what happened recently is presumably some external pressures put some heat on Twitch saying, we don't like that our song plays in these Twitch streams, do something about it. And under this law, they have to enforce that on their end users. Very unceremoniously, without warning, without any notification.
Twitch rolls out this policy.
This new policy where they don't notify people that they have content that's in violation with the law. They just delete the offending videos. And they issue,
really?
Yes. Videos that are archived from years ago. People's life work just removed, gone. No means...
You're sure about that?
Yeah, no means to retrieve it. The statement Twitch issued with this new policy was, we are writing to inform you that your channel was subject to one or more of these DMCA takedown notifications, and the content identified has been deleted. We recognize that by deleting this content, we are not giving you the option to file a counter notification or seek a retraction from the rights holder. That's the end of the statement. They just acknowledge that they didn't give you the opportunity to seek retribution.
How do they defend that?
They don't. They're just kind of give you a matter-of-fact statement that your content is gone, and too bad. So this is
inexplicable.
This is really quite bad.
I was under the impression that they weren't deleting those things, and that if your channel was just in violation of a number of these DMCA violations, it would just get auto-deleted, like the channel itself.
Oh, okay.
And here's the cascade of events. So you said the music industry was holding Twitch's feet to the fire for these DMCA things on their videos. Twitch has you can save your previous broadcasts to your Twitch page.
Like an archive?
Just previous broadcasts. Then users can generate clips. And those clips from your broadcasts, if in the broadcast you violated the DMCA by having any music. Because pretty much all music is copyrighted.
All music, right.
It feels that way. That clip now is a new instance of you violating the DMCA.
Even though this third-party user made the clip?
I was under the impression that Twitch streamers either had to comb through all of the clips that had been made by users
Ugh.
in all of their redundancies, and take down ones that did have music,
Okay.
or just empty your clips from your channel.
Sure. Yeah.
But I'll take your word for it that Twitch just did the work for them.
I guess you could say they did the work for them. They also didn't give people like any say in the matter. You had no option to like go in and maybe edit out the offending segment.
Or just mute it, yeah.
Or mute it. So
this is still developing?
This is probably still developing. Twitch went with the nuclear option here. It's also just kind of asinine to me that you have a 3-hour stream, right? And then 30 seconds, maybe someone in your game chat maybe was like,
yeah, living la vida loca.
Right. Some music playing goes in, and that flags your entire 3-hour stream, and then it's just removed.
You don't own it anymore.
Like, I understand it's important to give creators protection over their intellectual properties and their songs, but like, they're not losing any monetary value. No one wants to listen to some hip new song with a Twitch streamer recording their like dialogue over top of it and like a grainy screen with game sound effects going off.
A fan in the background.
Right. This is the lowest fidelity possible. If anything, maybe just the song playing in the stream makes some people aware of it and they go seek out the song outside of Twitch and maybe pay for it. I don't see the music industry losing any revenue.
They only stand to gain.
They only stand to gain. And like the fact that, why is it totally fine to like broadcast hours of uninterrupted gameplay, but then a small snip of a soundbite from a song is suddenly this big no-go?
Oh, well, do you want to pivot to Alex Hutchinson?
Right. So this is the segue. Well, the conclusion I would come to is, they're probably both fine, right? Someone very important over at Google came to the opposite conclusion that both should be bad. So let's pivot over to, you had his name?
Alex Hutchinson.
Yes. So this individual.
The most ratioed man in history.
Ratioed?
So on Twitter, you can have the most likes and the most retweets, but the current metric of having a good Twitter account is how well you are ratioed.
Okay. It's
a ratio of how many replies and quote retweets you get compared to your likes.
Okay.
In like the total engagement.
Sure.
So you can have a tweet that everybody likes, but if no one's engaging with it and replying with it, it could just be a pretty photo or something.
Okay.
So to be ratioed either means you said something that like a lot of people care about, or something so nuclear dumb that everyone is letting you know.
Yes. So this guy, Alex Hutchinson, he is the creative director at Google for Stadia.
Although he buried it in his profile.
Did he?
Well, before he had this awful tweet, it said, creative director at Stadia.
Okay.
But now his bio says creative director at SG&E Entertainment.
Oh.
Stadia Gaming. Yeah.
So what is this offending tweet, Heath? I'll read it for you. It is in relation to, or it's a response to these Twitch DMCA takedowns.
Devil May Cry takedowns.
Yeah. Those are more fun than these.
Those have style beaters.
Right. So the tweet read, streamers worried about getting their content pulled because they used music they didn't pay for should be more worried by the fact that they're streaming games they didn't pay for as well. It's all gone as soon as publishers decide to enforce it. The real truth is that streamers should be paying the developers and publishers of the game they stream. They should be buying a license like any real business and paying for the content they use. End of tweet. So, according to Alex, it would be a more reasonable business model for anyone who wanting to broadcast their gameplay to pay a licensing fee to the game publisher / developer for the right to do so.
Hey, Fortnite, I'm very good at your game. Allow me to buy a license so that I may broadcast the game you made, and we both,
On the one hand, the precedent's there.
It's not unthinkable.
Yeah. In fact, the fact that we don't do this currently is kind of the exception to the rule, right? You can't purchase a movie and stream it without consequences.
Right.
You can't purchase an album and stream that content without consequences. Obviously, that's what sparked this whole issue. So the fact that games, it's totally cool, that's kind of an odd circumstance. But you don't have to look very far or very wide to see how beneficial it's been to both parties, the gamers, the streamers, and the companies making these products. We could list off any number of success stories where streamers are basically the game's advertising campaign.
Fall Guys.
Yeah, Fall Guys.
Among Us.
Among Us, resurrected from the grave 2 years later purely because of streaming.
Yakuza even.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Is it like undergoing a streaming renaissance or
No,
what?
just from who I know at Castle Super Beast. That was an example that they did where they had direct confirmation.
Right. One thing about games is observing them doesn't give you the full experience. You really need to be hands-on and experiencing the interactivity of the game firsthand to like, a lot of it can't be communicated without you having your hands on the controller. So the fact that people stream probably incentivizes a lot of people to go out and then buy the games themselves because they look so fun.
And we have the numbers to back that up.
Yeah. Did you bring any of those numbers?
No,
All right.
dude.
Well,
I can tell you Metal Wolf Chaos, the remake,
Yeah.
would not have been developed, not have been remade
Sure.
had it not been for the groundswell.
Some developers go so far as to specifically create games that have all the hallmarks of like taking off and becoming Twitch viral. That's like their game plan for releasing it. I'm thinking of Five Nights at Freddy's and Bendy and the Ink Machine, these little indie horror games that get big reactions from streamers. And they kind of like lean into that. And
Watch this person you like get scared by this game.
Exactly. We could list so many more examples. This really took off with like Amnesia, The Dark Descent, I believe, like 10 years ago.
Yep.
That was like the precursor to this phenomenon. Man, what kind of world is he living in?
Right. So he was a game developer, right? He was creative director. He made Assassin's Creed 3.
Okay. I didn't look that up,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, he did Assassin's Creed 3. And in fact, he's the guy that when asked, how about we take Assassin's Creed to new cultures like Egypt and Japan, Alex reportedly said that Egypt would be too boring.
Too boring.
Yeah.
I believe Assassin's Creed Origins is probably my favorite at this point.
It's the game that they made after Assassin's Creed 3 after he left.
Gotcha.
And it's probably people's favorite.
Yeah.
And like too boring. Egypt tied for ranking as the geographical place with the most history.
Nothing
tied with China, yeah.
No ideas we can mine there for a game.
No, none. And so his tweet was very pro corporation, very anti-consumer, because he's thinking of it from the perspective of like these game devs have a right to not have their work stolen or just like
distributed,
just be like taken advantage of. Meanwhile, over at Stadia, and courtesy of Jacksepticeye for pointing this out, he chimed in and said, Alex, you have artwork on Alex's, it might be the Stadia's account, has their Twitter banner, has artwork of Jacksepticeye, and that artwork was not credited by Alex who made use of it.
Yeah.
In fact, the watermark, I forget the name of the artist, but the watermark was cropped out of the artwork.
Oh.
So Alex himself is,
or at least the Twitter account that he works for.
Yeah, is taking advantage of a person's work.
Yes.
And not compensating them.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, he's saying that, these Twitch streamers have gone too far.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
some hypocrisy there. I guess the question I'm left with is clearly the relationship that's currently at play here between the streamers and the game publishers, it's symbiotic and beneficial for both parties. Does he know that? Because if he does know that...
He's like, oh, these streamers are getting their games for free. Is that the case?
I'm sure maybe some send them like review copies, but
yeah, like,
in many cases they've probably purchased the license to play the game.
It's like a sponsorship thing.
Right.
The companies send a key to the streamer.
Yeah.
Does he not think, or does he think that?
Well, all right. He's probably drawing a distinction. When you get a key to play a game, that is a license for you to play the game, not necessarily for you to stream it or distribute it further.
Okay, yeah.
If he realizes that clearly the current arrangement is beneficial for both parties, why does he have an issue with it? Or if he doesn't know that, how is he a bigwig in the game industry? It seems like something you would know.
It just sounds like the most old age game development opinion, the likes of which that like Nintendo has a hard time dying, because Atlas, every time they come up with a game, it's like they have streaming restrictions. Like, don't play past March.
Talking about Persona games, certain scenes on the PS4 where I played Persona 5, when you enter certain scenes, you would get a notification saying your capability of streaming has been disabled.
Or
for this scene.
Yeah, the PlayStation screenshot ability.
Screenshot capture.
Sharing capabilities.
Right. They disable it for
restricted.
certain scenes.
Yeah.
Which was, I think, like most of the game.
Yeah. And that's fine.
Like, it didn't bother me, but if you want to stream Persona 5, that's a big hurdle. Anyway, baffling take. I don't understand it. We can move on to more slightly negative news stories if you want, Heath.
Yes.
You mentioned Nintendo recently. This one starts out fun and gets kind of weird.
Is this Fire Emblem?
This is Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Nintendo
is the weird part the lack of Marth's pants.
Oh, he's not wearing pants?
Apparently Marth just has a shirt.
Well, I'm sure he's fine.
He's letting his he's letting his two houses air out.
Anyway, Nintendo announced that Fire Emblem, Shadow Dragon, and the Blade of Light, which
is Fire Emblem 1,
the very first one, dating back to the year 1990, is going to be released for the Nintendo Switch on December 4th, 2020. It's fun and exciting because this is the very first time this game has ever been fully localized for the West. This was a Japanese-only release that has never come stateside. And it's getting some nice quality of life improvements, like...
Probably lightning fast load times.
Probably, yeah, very optimized, of course. It'll have a rewind feature.
Oh, yeah, because it's a strategy game.
Yes. You'll have the ability to fast forward through certain like animations and stuff.
Nice.
It'll have additional save states that the first game never had. So Nintendo went ahead and touched this game up. And it's coming out at a very reasonable $6 United States.
Oh, nice.
So,
and there's a Byleth cameo.
Yeah. Is there?
No, I made that up.
It's available digitally on the Nintendo eShop. There was like a physical limited run $50 edition that sold out immediately, but that's fine. That's for the collectors. So far, so good, right, Heath? The issue is...
What's the downside?
So this game will be available for a limited time only. It'll be delisted from the store on March 31st, 2021, which coincidentally is the same day Super Mario 3D All-Stars will no longer be sold, and Super Mario 35 will disappear from digital storefronts forever.
They are doubling down.
They are doubling down, and I can't say I'm shocked because Super Mario 3D All-Stars sold like gangbusters.
Oh.
And I was part of the problem. I contributed to this phenomenon, Heath. I feel bad about it.
You're the reason Fire Emblem is also on this limited time.
Yeah, So
reiterate to the fans why this is stupid.
This is especially stupid for Fire Emblem because for most people, it is only available digitally on a shop that Nintendo has. You just download it to your console. There's no supply that's ever going to run out. It's just bits of code that you download. They could leave it on their storefront in perpetuity. It would just sell it forever. However, they're going to basically sell it for 3.5 months, and
they're gambling that this artificial scarcity
will
help them pay for their Super Mario theme park in Orlando.
Right. It'll drum up FOMO for people who are, all right, I guess I have to buy it now because otherwise I may never be able to get it again. And there's zero practical reasons for that to be the case. It is purely a anti-consumer business move. And yeah, the thing is, okay, Mario kind of made sense. It's the 35th anniversary. There's that loose justification that the game's available for the remainder of Mario's 35th anniversary, then it goes away because it's a limited time thing.
Yeah, that was that excuse.
This is just, we're bringing this old game back. There's no reason. It's just gone after 3 months, and I don't like it. If this does well for them, they're going to keep doing it, and I don't want any part of this.
Right. So don't, fans of Fire Emblem, just save it. Hope that somebody emulates it.
Right. I guess, how do you stand up against this? I guess the options are don't play the game.
Boycott, yeah.
Or piracy.
Yeah.
Neither of which are ideal options here.
No.
Also, I'm just starting to think maybe Nintendo knows something we don't, like what's going down March 31st, 2021.
New console announcement.
I was thinking the games will no longer be available for sale because no one will be here anymore.
Oh. It's like a new Mayan calendar.
Yeah. That's where my head went.
Okay.
All games will no longer be available for sale.
So Age of Calamity is another Nintendo game that's a hot ticket item.
It is the Dynasty Warriors spin-off Zelda game.
Which Nintendo game that is coming out after March 31st
That we know about.
is not on a time crunch?
I think that there's another 3D Mario game being ported to the Switch from the Wii U that's like 3D Mario Land or something.
That wouldn't make sense to time.
I don't think that has a limited release window. Another game that just came out,
Pikmin
3 Deluxe. That doesn't have a time window.
Oh, yeah. I think I ought to buy that.
Yeah? You're into that like real... I never played a Pikmin game.
I've been told Pikmin is so lovingly made.
Okay. It's getting great reviews.
Yeah.
I'd be really interested to hear your take on that game.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I should dip my toes into the Olimar games.
I'll dip my... Yeah. Because I should know what Pikmin plays like so that I know what Wonderful 101 plays like.
Oh, okay. Because that's also a game about lots of little people you're controlling.
Your congregation, yeah.
Who follow you around. Gotcha. All right, so that was Nintendo being Nintendo. What's next on our negative news lineup?
You want me to throw the ball over?
Yeah, you could interject now. That's a good time.
Sure. Like hours before we started this podcast today, Sean Connery died.
I heard about that.
Yeah. That was like as I was driving here. Are you a big James Bond fan?
No, not at all.
Me neither. Only like Kevin was a James Bond fan.
Yeah, he was.
But he only really liked the. I'll mute his last name, but he only really cared for like the Daniel Craig version.
Okay.
Like he had Quantum of Solace, the game, and that was my lasting impression of him. Was he was just James Bond. The whole way.
That's your cultural touchstone for James Bond.
Right.
Kevin and Quantum of Solace.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then my cultural touchdown for Sean Connery was The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Okay.
Did you watch this movie?
No, but I've heard of it.
It's like a proto-Avengers.
Oh.
Back in the early 2000s.
Okay.
Collecting such heroes as William Tell, Dorian Gray from like the literature. He's the guy. He'll live forever and be young as long as he doesn't stare into the portrait of himself. That's like an old skeleton. And basically if he does so, it'll like switch them. So he will grow old and the portrait will grow young. So he keeps the portrait like covered in an attic or something.
Can he burn the portrait?
I don't think so. I don't think there's a hack like that.
Dang.
But there's him. There's Captain Nemo. These are all like literary third-party characters.
Wow.
You know,
this is like
there's no Spider-Man in this.
This is bottom of the barrel
there's
Avengers.
Like a Tom Sawyer stand-in. I don't think they could call him that.
Wait, isn't Tom Sawyer like a kid though?
No, this is like
Aged up Tom
like
Sawyer?
looking like Chris Hemsworth's age Tom Sawyer.
Okay.
Who else were a member of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen? Anyway, it's like they're there to stop World War One.
Oh, okay. I dig that.
Oh, the Invisible Man. Like those types of heroes.
I'm kind of into this.
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Just based on your description, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it was a bad movie, but I
dang.
was too young, so I love it.
Okay.
And Sean Connery was kind of like the old, because he's still old at this point.
Yeah.
He kind of gets the gang together and is like the leader of this unlikely team. So that was my impression of Sean Connery. I didn't really know about the James Bond or like the Jeopardy impersonation. I still know how he sounds like.
Yeah.
And then I only found about how much he beat women later.
Oh.
Right? Or not even that he beat women. No, he for sure did. But he would also be like unapologetic about it.
What?
It'd just be like, I think it was an interview with like Diane Sawyer where it's just so like, you know, if a lady's acting up, just give her a smack and she'll be, you know, that's just, she got what's coming to her. It just,
wow.
It was amazing how he was so steadfast in his.
That's the kind of humor that would fit right into Clue.
In his domestic, yeah. Oh man, domestic abuse humor, yeah, for sure. But Sean Connery, the funny man whose voice will go on, and you know, it's sad, but that happened today over this podcast.
Yeah, that is slightly negative news.
So it sure fits in with your
my
theme.
theme. Yeah, appreciate it, Heath.
What do we got? What else we got?
We've got two more. One of them's fast though. Next up, if you had attended my game night last night, you would have heard.
I tried to, everybody. I just napped right up until 2 minutes before it started.
Yep. It's just a shame you were 70 miles away.
Okay. We got 2 hours, though.
You would have heard one of our mutual friends mention he's been listening to the back catalog of Mobius Tubes episodes. He's caught up to February 2020 when we just talked about the fact that Cyberpunk was delayed. And I said, oh, that's still relevant. So what happened recently is Cyberpunk has been delayed once again. It can't really slip much further without jeopardizing releasing next year.
Or CD Projekt stock. Do you have stock in CD Projekt?
No, I don't.
Okay, thankfully, because I think it dropped like 25%.
Could be a good buying opportunity.
Over release date uncertainty. Oh, yeah, you buy it, and then because you know the game's going to be good.
Yeah, okay. So what's happening is the game is no longer releasing in November. Cyberpunk 2077 is now delayed until December 10th, 2020.
We are cutting it close.
Cutting it close, especially for my fantasy draft. Some peculiarities about this are the fact that actually the game has already gone gold. Do you know what that term means, Heath?
Going gold means that the game is locked. It's not being further developed. It is being printed even.
Right. The version of the game that is appearing on physical discs is set in stone. It has been sent to the manufacturer. The discs are probably being shipped to us as we speak. That version of the game is done with development. So, like, what's the big deal? Why is it getting a further delay after having gone gold?
Probably because patching.
So yes, what is very common these days is a game will receive a day one patch, which addresses, it's basically the team has more development time after the game has gone gold, but before it releases, and that development time is funneled into the day one patch.
Yeah, which is fine.
Which is fine,
you know, but we got day one patches.
Did we?
That's like a vitamin B shot joke when you're a baby. You know, you get just
this metaphor, Heath.
No, when you're a baby, like in modern context, you'll get a vitamin shot and things like that.
All right.
To help you survive.
Sure.
We get a day one patch.
All right. I guess that kind of works.
I thought that was way funnier than the syringe bit from last episode.
No, the syringe bit last episode was gold.
If you say so.
CD Projekt Red cites the reason for this delay is just the...
To avoid crunch.
Well, They did institute 6 more days of mandatory crunch, but the reason they cited was just the insane number of platforms this game is releasing on concurrently.
5?
9 platforms.
Oh.
Can you even think of all 9 platforms?
Is my Texas Instrument calculator on platform?
So it is releasing on the base Xbox One, the Xbox One X, the Xbox Series X, the Xbox Series S, the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 4 Pro, the PlayStation 5, the PC, and don't forget, it's also releasing on Stadia. 9 different platforms, 4 Xboxes, 3 PlayStations, and then PC and Stadia. The fact that...
How different are those SKUs?
Just think about it. This game needs to run on 2013 hardware and up, which is...
It's not as easy as just texture scaling and stuff.
It's probably a lot of that, but you also have to put all 9 versions through quality control. You have to go in and test all of them.
Oh, yeah.
This is just like a quantic ton of work.
Hence the delay.
Hence the delay. Cyberpunk isn't the only game releasing on all these platforms. It just makes me think how much work developers have to put in during this weird cross-generational time period where they still have to support the last gen and the new shiny stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot, and I sympathize for them.
How much do they stand to gain on Xbox One? Well, yeah, probably.
The install base is big.
It's big.
I also thought it was funny that you know the game Path of Exile?
Yes.
It is like a...
Or no, you said that, but my brain brought up an image of the Pathless.
Okay. It's a free-to-play Diablo competitor. Really good, I've heard through hearsay.
Okay. Yeah, another second-hand opinion that
They issued a statement following the delay of Cyberpunk. Yesterday, CD Projekt Red announced that Cyberpunk 2077 will now be released on December 10th. We do not want to put our players in a position of having to choose between these 2 games, so we have decided to step out of the way and delay the release of Path of Exile version 3.13 until January. Previously, they were going to release December 11th, the day after Cyberpunk.
Oh.
So they are just candidly saying, we don't want to get f***ed up by Cyberpunk. We're delaying a month. There's no development issues. We're just getting out of the way.
Yeah, oops, the game of the year wants our seat.
Yeah,
yes. Let me shimmy out of the way.
They're more
That's
than
funny.
It is funny. They're playing musical chairs. It also means probably the Game Awards this year, I don't think Cyberpunk can appear anymore.
Right, so...
Because it missed its window.
So Doom and Animal Crossing are going to sweep. They're the only games that came out this year.
Yeah, because the Game Awards have a cutoff in like late November where they stop considering things. So maybe... Will we see Cyberpunk win GOTY of 2021 at the Game Awards?
That is weird.
That is weird. That's the same situation.
That's as weird as Persona 5 Royal being the best-selling game of this year.
Oh, it was the most critically reviewed.
Claim, yeah.
Yeah. Or how Smash Bros. Ultimate was heavily featured at the 2019 Game Awards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So weird stuff all around with Cyberpunk. I hope it doesn't slip. My fantasy draft depends on it.
That'd be huge for me.
And lastly, of this very robust news section, and this isn't breaking news, but we never mentioned it, just that the trial date for the Epic Games versus Apple court case has been set. It's occurring in May 2021. Both companies have opted for the decision to be passed down by judge and not jury. So that's interesting. And I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that Fortnite is still not available to be downloaded on mobile platforms.
Which has been approaching $1 billion lost.
It has been MIA since the first part of August. And presumably it's not appearing at least until May of 2021 at the earliest, probably much later still.
So the install base is just frozen.
Yeah, if you've gotten a new phone, if you wanted to try Fortnite on a mobile device for the first time, there is no avenue to do so legally. And that situation will not be changing anytime soon. Epic is just losing out. And that's crazy to me.
It's really, really noble.
Righteous almost.
Yeah.
Like they aren't going for a settlement. They're going all the way to the
Because,
Supreme Court.
I mean, I'm the Epic Games Store's #1 fan,
And I hate them.
but we are both rooting for them to win this case.
Yeah, it would be a boon to developers big and small
Yeah.
to have that 30% cut ruled. Too much of a monopoly, yeah.
So for as much money as the video game industry makes, this should be televised like the OJ trial.
I have to imagine anyone who's ever thought about making an app will have their eyes glued to the screen when this trial airs.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I hope it's fun. I hope it's not a boring like a trial.
I hope Tim Sweeney himself saunters on stage.
I object. That's Tim Sweeney's voice. How does he sound? What does he look like even? Is he like a Tim Cook skinny?
Maybe this is an insult. He looks like a game developer. All right. That's all the news I have. So, Heath, we can take a break, and when we come back, I have a surprise for you.
What?
See you then.
Okay.
All right, we're back. Heath, you have two options, and we can only do one because of time. We can it's Halloween, we want to celebrate.
Ooh.
We've got two spooky options for you. We can celebrate with a game that I'm ripping off from another podcast.
Oh, we tend to do that.
So this is a hallmark of the IGN Game Scoop podcast, where they always end with a round of video game 20 questions, where you take the childhood game of 20 questions.
Oh.
And I will have a video game in mind that you can ask me 20 yes or no questions and try to guess the game by the end.
Okay.
Or we have a lost email from like a month and a half ago that I just never addressed that we could go through. Which would you prefer to do?
Which one's more Halloween themed?
The only thing spooky about the email is that it's a lost email and I haven't read it yet. Yeah, so I kind of want to play the game.
You haven't read it yet?
I've read it, but not on the air.
Okay. I'm leaning toward the fun new game.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
I think, yeah, okay. First and foremost, if you want to send us an email, send us an email.
Please do.
Even if you don't want to send us an email, send us an email.
Yeah, you're obligated. The address is mobiustubespodcast@gmail.com.
That's mobiustubespodcast@gmail.com. Can we get like another email to read alongside this long lost one on next episode?
Right. As a welcome back party for our email section.
Yeah, let's do, next episode, big, huge email section.
Please do.
Bursting.
Yeah. At the seams.
And then the episode after that will be Mobius Tunes 9.
Oh, yeah, I will be.
Yeah? Yeah.
You know, next episode might be predicting the Game Awards.
Oh, next episode? Oh,
I think they go live. They go live mid-November.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Do we got to push emails again then?
Wait a minute, Heath.
Yeah. Game Awards, console drop.
It just hit me that by the time this episode airs, the next generation will have started.
Nah, I'll turn this around soon enough.
Before November 10th?
Hopefully.
That would be an aggressive release schedule. Anyway, so I hope our listeners are enjoying their new consoles. We're going to do the game, okay?
Yeah, let's do the game.
All right. I have the game in mind. I'm going to write it down just so it's totally official. And you can only ask me yes or no questions. If for some reason I can't answer your question, I won't count it against you.
It's only yes or no questions.
Yes, binary.
Right.
And you only get to guess the title of the game once. So if you misfire,
it's
you're
like
out.
Clue.
It's like Clue. So in reality, you have like 19 yes or no questions and then your guess.
Okay. Dang, well, I haven't watched IGN's podcast, so I don't know what's the go-to starter question.
Oh, yeah, you don't know the meta.
There is for sure a most optimal path to this that I'm going to have to try to think up on the fly.
Yeah, this will be fun.
Because it could be literally any game.
I have picked one you are at least
of.
You have a cursory familiarity with. At least. Maybe you're intimately familiar with it.
Why do I just beeline with a question like, is Mario in attendance? Don't answer that.
All right.
Okay, here we go. Question number 1. Or question 20. Maybe we'll do it that way.
No. That's cancerous.
No. Because then I know how many got left. Surely. I don't have to do. I don't have to do one thing of subtraction.
I need to insist you count up. For my own sanity.
Oh, confusing. Okay. I guess it's just what you're used to from the show, from the formula. Question number 1.
Just in general, I'd ask broader questions.
I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
And then narrow down.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Is this a 2D game?
No.
That means it. Wait, either that's 3D or isometric counts as 2D.
Ooh,
does it?
Do you make assumptions or do you check that?
Me. Okay, it's a 3D game. Is the release date 2010 or sooner?
It is, yes.
Okay. What a waste. Damn it. Okay.
2010 or sooner.
Yep.
Release date is usually the first question they ask on the show.
What is the release date? Yeah.
No. They do ranges like that.
Yeah, like that. Okay. Good thing 2010 or sooner is my wheelhouse.
As it is mine.
Yeah.
You'll find 20 questions is a lot of questions.
Oh, you're saying that I ought not be so conservative.
Yeah, you should be playing fast and loose right now. Once you hit 10, that's when you slow down.
Okay, fine. Is this a first-party game? Like Sony first-party or a Microsoft
Gotcha.
or Nintendo?
No, it is not a first-party game.
Okay. Is this game a part of a multi-game franchise? Does it have a sequel, prequel, iterative?
Does
it have any successors or any precursors?
I'm going to answer that as saying it has spiritual successors.
Okay.
All right. A non-2D game from the last decade. Not a first-party developed game, and some kind of weird sequel, spiritual successor situation.
To come after, yeah. Non-American developer?
I'll double check.
Okay. It's probably a waste, but I'm just trying to narrow down, like, is it CD Projekt? Is it Japan? Is it Quantic Dream?
It is a non-American developer.
Yes. Shit. Damn. You think about it, American developer is a minority.
They're one of the big players, but
there are more non-American than American, which is interesting to think about. Because all of movies are American. All of music is American.
Hollywood is pretty much dominates
video
the
game
scene.
is
international.
For the most part, international.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
It is cool.
Yeah.
Japan and America are probably the largest players. And when I say America, I'm lumping Canada into that.
Oh.
But
okay.
Europe has some heavy hitters too.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I gotta start ruling things out. Shoot, do I do another release date question?
You could narrow it further.
All right. After 2015.
After 2015. No.
10 to 15. Here we go. And it's not a Mario. Unless, wait, what Mario? Are there any? Is Mario Paint like not first party? I'm trying to think. All Mario games are first party.
Mario plus Rabbids isn't.
Oh, it's technically a Ubisoft-y, yeah.
I'd call that a second party game.
Mm-hmm. And that's had successors. No, one and done. All right. I was going to ask, is it a combat-focused game?
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, it is a too broad a question even. And surely, if the answer is no, what do you do with that? So I gotta be more specific. Is this a game with many dialogue decisions?
Yes.
All right. Maybe I could have guessed that, but maybe I couldn't. So it's an RPG. It's an adventure game. But it's not like Breath of the Wild. Granted, that's a first party anyway. All right. I gotta be more technical. I gotta be landing more punches. 2010 to 2015 includes Red Dead. No. Yes, it does. But Red Dead is a 3D, fits the time frame. No dialogue decisions, though. And that one had a sequel, so it's not a spiritual successor. It's very spiritual, in fact.
Too spiritual.
Too much for me. Yeah. Okay. Character customization in the sense that I'm thinking of it.
None. No.
That. Oh, wait. Can I get this within 10 questions? Oh,
You've used 8.
That's bold. Ooh. And non-North American developer. Because when I said America, you lumped in Canada.
Right.
So it's not Heavy Rain. Okay. Because Heavy Rain would have been a 3D time frame spiritual success. No, it's not a spiritual successor. Do I do another time frame? Although 2013 and 2012 are indistinguishable from each other, so it wouldn't help me. No character customization. It's got dialogue. Here we go. The combat is mostly gun.
No.
That means it's sword.
The 2 types of video game combat.
Yes, the 2 flavors. Yep. Vanilla or chocolate. No magic. Okay. Here we go. What else can I ask about 3D games that like rescue it from a MOBA or would a MOBA be 2D? Wait, would League of Legends be a 3D game? No, it's 2D. Well, it's isometric.
Isometric is the big question mark.
Yeah,
one.
whether or not, that's 2.5D. Okay, well, I'm at 9 questions in.
You are 9 questions in.
Isometric.
Is this game isometric?
Correct.
No.
All right, so it's like for reals 3D. Okay, thank God. All right. Wait a second. Okay, so it's not 2D. It's not isometric. Are you going to be a stickler and be like, it's 4X?
4X?
You know how Civilization is that 4X? It's technically not isometric.
If you're wondering about that.
Imagine. I would lose my mind.
I'll just say on the record, if you asked me, would I consider Civilization an isometric game? I'd say, yes, I do.
Okay.
For the purposes of me answering these questions.
Yeah. Oh my God, what if it's Fez? And it's technically not 2D or isometric, right? That's like a 3D game, but depending on which way, it looks
imagine. 2D most of the time.
Most of the time.
The environments are rendered in 3D technically.
I'd lose my mind. Don't give me any hints. Ay. Can I? All right, let's review.
Don't touch that computer.
No, I want to maybe write stuff down.
All right, I'll review it with you.
Yeah. This is a not 2D, not isometric game between 2010 and 2015 with dialogue decisions and not primarily gun combat.
Correct.
That has a spiritual successor, but no other
direct
no other
sequel.
kind of ties. And
developed outside of America.
Outside of America, not by a first-party game console maker.
What kind of games are coming to mind?
What kind of games are coming to mind? Well, like Heavy Rain was until I ruled out
the location of development.
Character creator.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Wait, the game doesn't have a character creator.
That's the point. Yeah.
Neither does Heavy Rain. You can't create your character in Heavy Rain.
Right, which is why
Heavy Rain that doesn't disqualify Heavy Rain.
You're right. Yes. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. There is no character creator.
Right.
So it's still eligible. I guess I kind of assumed there'd be combat. Is this a puzzle platformer? Okay, wait, sorry. Is this a... No, it can't be a platformer. Is this a platformer?
This is not a platformer.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. What a waste. Damn it. Yeah, duh.
Why is that duh? It could have been a platformer.
Because I feel like this game is huge. To make it easy, because it's the first of its kind. And probably the last of its kind, because clearly I'm not snapping these up. Okay, come on. Oh yeah, what platformer would have dialogue decisions? That's crazy.
Right, that would be pretty rare.
Damn it. Okay, but it could still have like puzzle elements and stuff. This could easily be like not a horror. There's few dialogue decisions in horror games. What games with dialogue decisions can I like differentiate from each other? Because I'm not about to ask like, is there multiple endings? That'd be stupid. Here we go. Question. Wait, I'm in the top 10. Here we go.
You've used 11.
Yet to?
You've used 11 questions.
Oh yeah, so I got like technically 8 left. Okay. Okay. There's dialogue decisions. Many, in fact, so many, too many. But there's no character creator. Spiritual success. That rules out. It rules out like Walking Dead. It rules out Mass Effect. It rules out Skyrim. No character creator.
You really hung up on that part.
I don't know. It was a good question. Surely I can't be the first person who have asked.
No, that's come up once in a while.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Why couldn't it be Heavy Rain? Well, let me tell you, Heath. That one has gone. It has gone. But Chris didn't think of that. Yeah, it's mostly quick time. Primarily heavy use of quick time.
Does this game have heavy use of QuickTime?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah! Yeah! Ooh! What does that leave? I mean, like Walking Dead, but that's got sequels. Bra pa pa. What does that leave? That leaves like the Saw game.
That was the most invigorating I've seen you all game. All episode even.
Oh my god. This is I was sleepy last episode, but this is coming right back around. I have 7 questions remaining.
You've used 12. So you've got 7 and a guess.
7 and a guess. I've drugged this. It's been 15 minutes since I last looked at the clock. I mean, let's just try to knock it out of the park because we've filled this episode. Thank you for this is a fun game, Chris. Sexy shower scene.
No.
No?
No.
That rules it out.
There is no sexy shower scene in this game.
It's not Heavy Rain. And it's not Beyond Two Souls. And it's not
anything David Cage has ever touched.
Anything David Cage has ever touched. Oh, I ought to have already ruled it out, though, based on the non-North American.
Now, I know David Cage is very French. Is Quantic Dream not
Montreal.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So, you granted me that. Heavy use of QuickTime. Oh, come on, Heath, come on. QuickTime, dialogue decisions. Oh, 2015. This is cutting it close. Horror.
You're asking if this is a horror game?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. How did I phrase the gun question?
We'll have to check the tapes.
Ah, damn it. Yeah, because I thought I said like primary combat is gun.
Yeah,
and you said no.
I think that's how you
Which makes sense
it.
because this is a quick-timey game. That's how you interact with it. I assume. The ultimate question. Is Until Dawn non-North American?
You're asking me if the game Until Dawn is developed outside of America?
Oh, no. That's not my... Oh, no. I have more fun ways of asking that.
Okay.
Because Until Dawn fits the time period barely. There is gun in it, but I could grant Chris if he did not that qualify it as that. What have I said that has ruled out Until Dawn? No character creator. No shower scene. There's a bath scene. She gets out and puts a towel on. Now, and it's a horror game. What other horror games are heavy quick time 2010 to 2015 3D rumpus rooms? The Saw game again. It would be fascinating to find another game that fits this criteria that you didn't think about.
Gotcha.
But let's try to knock it out of the park again with Wendigos.
Does this game feature Wendigos?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we did it. Is this game Until Dawn?
The game I selected, Heath, was the 2015 release by Supermassive Games, second-party PS4 exclusive, Until Dawn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well done. Here, I'll pull it up. It's on my phone.
Its spiritual successor was what was it called? Millennial Man? What was it?
Man of Medan.
Oh, what did I say?
Millennial Man.
That's me.
Yeah, so it is followed up by no direct sequels, but from the same developer. They're doing their Dark Pictures anthology.
Yeah.
And one
Man of Medan.
One called Little Hope just came out.
Okay.
It's like about witches and stuff. It seems really appealing to me.
Okay. Yeah.
So they're doing more spooky adventure type quick time event decision making games.
That's one of those, yeah.
Yeah, but obviously there is no Until Dawn 2. So that's why I came up with that answer.
Okay.
And you're right, one of the main protagonists uses a shotgun against the Wendigos, but it's done through like quick time events, and
it's no super hot.
Right, and it's a small portion of the game.
Yeah.
So I felt it would be pretty misleading if I said the game is primarily conducted through gun combat.
Yeah. And a character gets wet, but that's not a sexy shower scene.
And there are sexy scenes, but outside the shower.
Thank you. Very specific, yes.
Yeah. And it's a British studio that made it.
You know, if I said big hot sexy, and you said yes, I would have guessed Heavy Rain.
Yeah.
You would something of the
you would have dug your own grave.
I would have.
And yep, so it's a spooky game for a spooky season.
Oh, duh, yeah. Okay, good of you to not give it away.
I'm surprised you didn't.
Yes.
You didn't hone in more on like the game's setting, because you didn't know if this was like futuristic or present day, or if it even took place on Earth, or yeah, that could have helped you.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe I would have paid more attention to genre, because you only clarified that it wasn't a platformer and that it had dialogue, which you correctly assumed adventure game or RPG. So that worked out for you this time. But I could have seen that biting you in the butt somehow.
Yeah, for future reference.
But you did well. That was either 15 or 16 questions, and you won.
Oh, really?
Congrats, Heath.
Okay.
We'll maybe do this segment occasionally, not in every episode.
No.
It seemed to stress you out.
Well, are you eager to do it?
Yeah, I'd be eager to do it sometime.
Of course you are.
So you brainstorm a game for me to guess.
All right, yeah.
We'll do that eventually.
Yeah.
And that's
because
really...
I love doing this with Bailey.
Okay.
The headbands thing I mentioned.
Gotcha.
I love coming up with things that are super specific to her.
Right.
And rollicking in her indecision, yeah.
Yeah, that made sense, how you honed in on Heavy Rain, which is canonically a very Heath game, and Civ 5, that fit the time frame. And so that would have been a very fun pick.
It was just not 2D and not 3D made it very it's open to interpretation.
Not 2D and not isometric.
Right. Yeah.
So that's going to be a wrap for this episode.
This was a great episode.
This was a great episode.
Yeah.
This has been Mobius Tubes. Once again, write us in so we can have that big mailbag episode.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Next episode's going to be insane. Please write in.
All of our episodes are pretty insane.
Yeah.
The address, once again, is mobiustubespodcast@gmail.com.
mobiustubespodcast@gmail.com.
I will catch you in a couple hours, Heath, for a very luxurious game night.
Yeah, you have an hour to eat dinner. Or 2 hours. 2 hours.
I was going to go to the gym, but I guess not.
Oh, shoot, dude. I'm sorry.
I should have known better.
Oh.
That's kind of on me. Okay. Anyway, it's been a pleasure, Heath. I
enjoyed myself. You could tell.
Yeah, you did. You lit up when you're heavy QuickTime events. Never seen you happier in my life. All right. I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.